Sir Handel was complaining in his usual way.
It's time I had a rest. What a nuisance passengers are. Anyone would think we'd have nothing to do but give them rides all day.
You know what happened on our old railway when there weren't any? It closed. We're lucky, if you ask me.
I didn't.
Sir Handel puffed away in a huff. As he did, a bolt atop his cab worked itself loose.
Huh? What was that?
But only Sir Handel had noticed. He stopped along the line to let Duncan pass.
Hello, Sir Handel.
Seeing Duncan rattle along gave Sir Handel a naughty idea.
Oh. If I rock and roll as much as I can shake my cab even looser. Then I shall have to rest until I'm mended.
His driver was cautious.
Steady now, old chap.
But this was all part of Sir Handel's plan. He bucketed along the line, bouncing more than ever. At the end of their run, the fireman checked Sir Handel.
I've checked its springs. Nothing seems wrong.
I'll mention that worst bit of track to Mr. Hugh, but I think Sir Handel is up to something.
They were soon proven right. Next day, Sir Handel nearly derailed on a set of points.
Wow, hey, what now? Hey now, what is it?
But it was too late. When Sir Handel hit another bad bump, his cab bolt broke altogether. The driver and fireman inspected the damage.
You'll have to take the train. Scarlowe and Peter Sam are already up the line, and there isn't time to get the others ready.
What? I couldn't possibly take passengers in my condition. This is a disgrace. This is an outrage. This is something else that's bad.
But Sir Handel didn't have a say in the matter. Each time he puffed, his cab rattled. And when it did one time too many, part of it caught in the chain of his whistle.
Hey, what's it? What's going on? Why am I whistling like this? Hey, stop it! Stop, enough! Enough already! Just stop it!
Scarlowe was waiting for his train at the middle station. In the distance, he heard a strange noise.
What's that? It sounds like an engine that wanted to whistle, but couldn't quite manage it.
Then Sir Handel came into view. As he crossed each rail joint, a puff of steam came from his whistle, and every time he gave a faint peep. Scarlowe tried not to laugh, but Sir Handel's driver and fireman didn't even try. Sir Handel was furious. That evening, his driver and fireman came to mend him.
We're sorry we laughed, but your whistle chain got caught in your cab.
The crosser you became, the more you rattled, and the more you rattled, the more you whistled.
Oh, you mean like this?
Sir Handel said nothing. His idea, he decided, hadn't been such a good one after all.
Alrighty, hopefully that works. Probably not. If anything's wrong, just tell me to redo them, and then I won't do them for you until another 8 months. I don't really know how to end this. Do I say goodbye? I don't know if I should, keep it, I guess I'll end it. I don't really know what else to say.
Oh, Paxton!
What?
Howdy, Pax-Man. Cold day, ain't it?
Understatement of the year. Thankfully, being prone to overheating can be something to be thankful for on a day like this.
I don't know. I love it. Back on the PRR, I lived for this weather. Sure, winter storms on a railroad.
Railway. Excuse me, but do you know where you are right now?
Anyway, winter storms on the railroad could cause delays, derailments, and all sorts of trouble. Although I enjoyed it, I thank my lucky stars that I get home safe each day.
Not a moment passes where a bit of gratitude wouldn't hurt.
And it's a bit of a tradition of mine to greet an icy morning with a hearty whistle. May I do the honors?
Surely. Oh, wait a moment. Perhaps now isn't the best time.
Oh, sorry about that.
I instantly forgive you.
Ice and snow had taken the railway by surprise. A bridge was under construction for the Little Western extension, and the sudden snowfall had delayed the project. Nevertheless, the Fat Controller decided he needed a consistent workforce to run supplies to the valley. He sent Arthur the big tank engine to aid in the task, and when the workload proved to be very demanding, he also called in Wilbert, a visitor from the Forest of Dean.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, Wilbert!
Oh, crumbs, I am truly sorry for all the steam, sir.
It's all right, Wilbert. After some successful negotiations, I'm pleased to say that you'll be staying with us a little while. The logging and lumber companies will need a spare engine to help out later this year. Obviously, a strong saddle tank such as yourself has proven to be invaluable, and I know you will be a credit to me and your railway. How about it, Wilbert? Are you feeling up for the task?
It's a pleasure to be back, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity, sir. I don't get to stretch my wheels too often, and especially at such great distances.
That's the spirit, then. I hope you're ready and raring for the long haul ahead. Now off with you. Tidmouth awaits.
When Wilbert arrived at Tidmouth, he and Arthur hit it off almost instantly. They not only enjoyed each other's company, they had a very similar work ethic, and were very interested in the stories they each had to share. In no time at all, they were chatting together like old friends. So, have you ever had an accident?
Have you?
You first.
You.
Well, I used to have a spotless record, but as you can imagine, that was pretty short-lived on the Northwestern Railway. On my first day, Thomas played a trick on me, and I smashed into Duck's goods train while I was pushing some vans for market day.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, I was covered in applesauce.
If it makes you feel any better, I once filled up my water tank at the dairy instead of the water tower at Tory Wreck.
What? No way.
Yep, guilty as charged.
That's a good story. I want to tell you all about my branch line, but be sure to fill me in on what the Dean Forest Railway is like too.
Would you look at them? Thick as thieves, those two. I've never seen Arthur so, well, outgoing, I guess.
You know, sometimes having a new friend can really bring out the best in an engine. It's new, it's exciting. It's a great thing having Wilbert on the island.
I'm just surprised the Fat Controller had the courage to borrow another engine after what happened to Stepney. I mean, I like Wilbert and all, but we seem to be having a lot of newcomers recently.
Well, the times are changing, James, and we're not getting any younger. The Vat Controller seems to have a grand vision for the years ahead. And having an extra pair of buffers can only help him make that vision attainable.
Besides, it could be worse.
Oh, what a repugnant sight. Seeing you rust buckets crowding the place. Yeah, get with the times, steam kettles.
Well, he could have sent those two down here.
That's right. Ever since the Ironworks made that joint ownership contract with the railway, I've been seeing them everywhere. There's always been something a little off about them.
I'll say, next time they call you a shoddy steam kettle, I'll see to it that you stick up for yourself. Smelting diesels or not, you all need to hold your ground.
Fair point there. I guess we should be grateful that Arthur and Wilbert are helping out with the project and not anyone who would be deemed less desirable. Those two bring a better atmosphere to the yard than Ari or Bert by a long shot.
Well, they may bring a better atmosphere, but they wouldn't get the job done like I would have. If the extension is such a big deal, you'd think the Fat Controller would have the sense to dispatch an engine with an ounce of class. I'm amazed I wasn't chosen. Those two tank engines are nothing like me.
Oh, well, right you are, James. Humble, courteous, and don't make spectacles of themselves.
Humph! You think you're so clever, don't you?
Comes with age.
Moving forward, I say we let their wheel turns do the talking, and then we can assess what they can accomplish together.
Over the next few days, Wilbert and Arthur performed very well given the circumstances. They shuttled important supplies over the lift bridge to the new line alongside the River Tid and into the Valley of Arlesdale. The ice and snow made work difficult, but it bested neither of them in the grand scheme of things. The project foreman was very impressed.
Right on schedule, you two. Well done. Arthur, I need you to pick up an important delivery that will be arriving in Vickerstown this afternoon. Once I confirm the arrival time, I'll be sending you off. Hang tight there for a bit while I make a few calls.
Well, it was a slippery slope all the way down here, but here I am about to go back up all over again. Thank goodness my brakes got a tune-up. I'd be nothing in this wasteland without them.
I can imagine, but simply applying your brakes isn't always a surefire way to safety. Your wheels are more likely to slide if you don't apply them gradually, and it helps to reduce your speed. A nice tip to share with your crew, in my opinion.
Duly noted. Yeah, probably should write that down.
Hey, you don't need to tell me twice. Stepney had had an accident when this line was being restored. He knew very well to apply his brakes, but Doc had sprayed weed killer all over the tracks, and he fell right over the edge. He got too swept up in the moment.
So what would you recommend?
It all comes down to you, I'd say. Be focused. Be vigilant. Expect the unexpected.
But how can you expect the unexpected? If you expect it, then, well, it's expectable.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, but I wasn't overthinking it. I was just thinking about it.
Yeah, well, just keep thinking about it, but don't keep thinking about it too much, you know what I'm saying?
I am, Arthur, where are you going with this?
Nowhere. Arthur, I've worked with you long enough to know very well that you frequently put yourself in situations where we're all waiting for you to say something very profound, and honestly, you only occasionally succeed.
Ooh.
Oh, shots fired.
Anyway, since you really weren't going anywhere with that, I'll see to it that you go somewhere with this. Turns out I need you to head over to Vickerstown now. Travel safely, but no distractions. Wilbert, I need you to tend to the shunting work here. Arthur can help you when he gets back.
Yes, sir. I'm on my way. I'll see you later, Wilbert.
Goodbye, Arthur.
Arthur arrived at Vickerstown Station safe from deterrents, but not from distractions. As soon as he backed onto his trucks, Derek the Paxman Diesel greeted him warmly. He would soon discover, though, that another familiar face was observing the exchange close by.
Oh, why, hello there, Arthur. It seems my friend Paul the mechanic has something to ask of you. Have you two been introduced?
No, I know Paul. He worked on my brakes, and I know you two go way back. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey there, the maroon looks nice. Did those idiots add the undercoat this time? Betcha Kevin remembered.
Yes, they did, thanks to you. What's up?
I need a favor. You see that ridiculously heavy crate on the platform over there that I couldn't possibly carry myself?
Yeah?
I need that over in Bluebell Valley. If you could get it to the transfer yard, I've asked Sir Handel to take it the rest of the way. The arrangements with the station master have been made. I guess it would all just come down to you, champ. What do you say?
Well, sure, I guess I can. What's inside it?
Don't worry about it. It's for a restoration job a friend of mine's doing. That's all you need to know.
Oh, a restoration project. What for, might I ask?
It's a bit classified at the moment. Sorry guys, I have to head to the valley myself, but it was nice catching up. Here's to dry rails and a clear path home for the both of yous.
I say, that mechanic really knows how to speak to engines.
He surely isn't a people person, though. Will you have a problem getting that crate to the transfer yards?
Well, I'm sure there's room on board. Not a problem at all.
Gosh, this is so heavy. What's in this? Bricks or something?
Curious, isn't it? I suppose the contents of our deliveries are best left to those they concern. Farewell, Arthur. Safe travels.
I hear you. Goodbye, Derek. But how do we know if it concerns us or not when we don't know what it is? Well, that was sort of profound, I guess. Who am I kidding?
You're late.
I'm sorry, sir. Slight detour?
Never mind, I can't even pretend to care. While you were dawdling at Vickerstown, Wilbert's been rather productive here. Now, we have no room for these trucks on the sidings, so you'll have to take them to the bottom of the valley. We'll store them there for the winter and have them ready for the spring.
Well,
I know you can do great work, Arthur. The Fat Controller speaks very highly of you. Now, puff along now and make up for lost time. Be careful, though. The ridge is unsafe.
Yes, sir. I'm very sorry for the delay, sir.
Oy vey. I had to pick up all these heavy lumps of scrap, puffed 10 miles in the snow, and had to make small talk with goody-goody Two Hughes back at the transfer yard. I hate my life so much. It burns. Shut up, Sir Handel. You're only part of this for the horsepower, not the commentary. Now it all comes down to the man's approval. What do you say? Are these the parts he needed?
With that smile, I'd say this delivery was on point. All the credit goes to me, naturally.
Someone tell the peanut gallery to shut up.
Oh, pummel my pistons. I never get in trouble. I like Paul, but I shouldn't have let a friend get in the way of my work. If you want to be in control, it all comes down to you. Arthur made it to the bottom of the slope safely, and was just about to apply his brakes.
Be careful, Arthur. I bet the rails are going to be really icy.
Yeah, better apply your brakes soon.
Way ahead of you guys. Easy does it now. Hey! Kinda slippery here. Ow! Whew. Well, that could have been a lot worse. Looks like I'm in the clear now. Well, that doesn't sound pleasant. Thankfully, Oliver and Buster heard the commotion and help soon arrived to dig Arthur and his trucks out of the snow. Wilbert hurried to the scene as soon as he could to see if he could be of any aid to the rescue. Admittedly, he was stunned that Arthur had gotten into a nasty predicament despite how vigilant he had been, and this piqued his curiosity onto how exactly the event had played out.
Thank you for rescuing me, everybody. This really took me by surprise.
What happened, Arthur? From what you were telling me earlier, I thought you'd be a little more on top of things, as opposed to all this snow being on top of you. Did you stay focused?
I was, but then I slid out of control, smashed into some buffers, and the echo I produced caused a huge avalanche. I wasn't distracted, though. I was cautious as I could be, and yet it had no bearing on my fate whatsoever.
Hey, it's nothing to worry about. It happens to the best of us.
But I should be better than this. Having a spotless record when I arrived meant that I didn't make a mess of anything, and now look where I've ended up. I've learned so many new things, and been exposed to so many new ideas, and yet sometimes I just can't keep up this illusion of composure.
No one is perfect, Arthur. Maybe all this time in the valleys really broadened your horizons a bit, made you a little more open to new ideas, and that's something you're adjusting to. There's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you, Wilbert. Truthfully, I think I feel this way because of something that happened to me today. The foreman was cross with me because I went off course to deliver this crate. He doesn't know that, though. Oh, I'd never do anything like this.
A crate?
Yeah, this crate, and I had no idea what was inside it, but when my friend asked me to deliver it, I wanted to go out of my way to help him, because he was my friend. If only he had told me what was inside it, or at least made arrangements with the Fat Controller or something, then a lot of this mess could have been avoided.
We can't always plan ahead, Arthur. We can only do what we can in the here and now.
But communication, that's something we have that not a lot of other engines really get. There's a huge problem out there.
What do you mean?
The problem is that everyone wants different things, and each and every one of them is working on a fragment of information to a much larger story. That alone is keeping them from finding the truth and clarity that everyone is searching for.
How do they find the truth, Arthur?
By finding each other.
Well, Arthur, that was,
What?
kind of profound.
After that, the engines silently agreed, and nothing more was said. Perhaps it was the cold air, or perhaps it was the silence of the valley. But at that very moment, the engines felt like they had been very blind, not only from the trials and tribulations the elements had set before them, but to a larger world that made everything seem so very out of their control. And you may think that the chill you feel is a passing one that fades away as the seasons change. But believe me, the chill you feel is just the beginning of something very sinister indeed.
Yes?
I heard there was an accident. Is Arthur all right?
Oh, yes. All in a day's work, Sir Stephen. Despite one small mishap today, we've managed to keep it together.
Our next objective is the bridge connecting the valley.
Very good. I do. However, once again insist you make safety the utmost priority over there.
After the signal failure, Stepney's dramatic entrance, and now an avalanche, this project doesn't need any more excitement.
It's a blessing and a curse, sir. Good night.
Oh, sir, you forgot to lock up the warehouse.
Oh, Wilbert. I was just about to do that. What are you doing here?
Well, I was down in the valley for a while. That new bridge you're building, it goes right over the small railway. I was hoping to pay the engines a visit, but it seems like they're closed for the winter season.
It's best if you rest up. I'll be running you and Arthur ragged tomorrow if we want to have the supplies ready on time.
Okay. Good night, sir.
Good night, Wilbert.
Coast clear. Move along, Bert. We'll make it when we get inside.
Come on, you little urchins. If you don't leave the iron shipment here, that's when people start asking questions.
Oh, shut up. You know you're not the boss. We're not letting a shady blinkered old lout like yourself order us around. A little professionalism goes a long way in the workplace. Have a shave, clean up a little, show some self-respect.
Him?
Oh, come on now. You know I wasn't talking to you, Bert.
So, what's the job now? Just a pick-up?
The usual.
That sounds like a home to me.
A pretty familiar one, too.
What's with the warship?
Our employer insisted that he come along to even the playing field.
Oh yeah, it's pretty even now, mate.
Don't worry about them. They're just an escort.
Yeah, we're the escort, but old Ironclaw is here to rip you to shreds if things get out of hand.
Splodge!
Oh, was that the part we weren't supposed to say?
I didn't say anything. Anyway, you have nothing to fear. Consider me a liability gone rogue, displaced and exiled. Yet once again, I'm wrapped up into something a lot more enticing.
Alright then, let's see what you got for us.
Very nice. Our employer will be pleased.
Consider this one of our last transactions.
Excuse me?
The man behind the lumber business apparently is having some second thoughts.
Oh, really? What's he saying?
Well, my current taskmaster says it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye, and I am paraphrasing a lot. It was a lot more derogatory and vulgar than that. I'm not really one for delivering messages. Not something I've exactly come to grips with.
Look out! Oh! It was not really necessary.
What the heck was that for? Well, that did not help my tennis elbow.
Hate to break it to him, but he may not have much of a choice. That's a matter he'll have to take up with the higher-up. What's his sum then?
Same as always, what he said. Although he punctuated that sentence with, "You sinister, secretive, warmongering simpletons."
Are we doing business with a man or a thesaurus of insults?
We'll have him wide over, as always.
I suppose we're done here, then.
Will you be stopping by the smelters any time soon?
Only if there is fresh and soon-to-be lifeless metal that needs to be torn apart while simultaneously begging for mercy. Until next time.
Meet you on the flip side.
Did you listen to that conversation between the boss and that guy? That was really morbid and dark.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was romantic tension or bitter hatred for one another.
Maybe it's the same thing.
Heck. Business as usual, I guess. All this sneaking around, all this secrecy. I want this to culminate into something real. What say you, my hazard-striped friends? You're with him all the time. Any ideas what Fedora's got in store?
The man's a minefield. Mr. Mason, I don't recommend you do any prying. There's a lot of things you don't know about. Heck, stuff even we don't know about.
All I know is that someday the pieces will start falling together.
Paxton, come on!
Oh, sorry! I'm so sorry, sir. About everything. It's all my fault.
Now, Paxton, you should not feel responsible for the events that occurred during the munitions incident. The sole cause of the fire was none other than that appalling General Zen. I know that it was an accident, and you could not have possibly have meant to harm anyone. You're one of the gentlest engines I've had the pleasure to know. Please, don't let this be a burden for you.
I'll try, sir. Thank you.
Even so, I think it's best you return to the Blue Mountain Quarry. You're well liked there, and I'm sure the little engines will brighten your spirits.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Farewell, Paxton. Safe travels. Hey, excuse me, sir. Mind the crumbs. These are new leather seats.
Oh dear, I'm sorry, Winston. Off we go then.
Hello there, Paxton. I haven't seen you for a while. Back to the quarry life, I see.
Yes, I am indeed. Why aren't you at the quarry, Skarloey?
I'm mostly dealing with passengers for a change. I believe Duke has taken the reins of the quarry for now.
Duke? Skarloey?
Yes, of course. What's wrong with that, Paxton?
Nothing, Skarloey.
Well, look sharp then. The men are blasting today.
Blasting? Oh my.
Fizzling fireboxes. What's gone into that Paxton? I must say, he's the most nervous little diesel I've ever met.
Hey, Freddy, do you have a minute?
Idle buffers, I presume. A minute to be had is a minute wasted. I'm quite busy at the moment, like you should be.
Fastest engine in the hills has time for races, but not for friends. I see how it is. Duncan, listen to my new...
Rusty, I listen to you much more often than I would like to already.
Bertram, have a listen, will you? Isn't it grand? Two-tone.
Well, my dear Rusty, it's remarkable, refined, refreshing, all of the above and far beyond. I'm speechless.
That would be a first.
Stow it, the lot of you! The men are blasting today, and I don't want any stragglers. You'll all do your work safely and efficiently and scamper off by nightfall.
Don't worry, Duke. We'll be very careful.
Yeah, whatever.
I am ever so certainly in concordance with that astute gesture, fine fellow.
Oh, shut up, Bertram. Anyway, my main concern right now is that good-for-nothing Paxton. Where the blazes is he?
He's close to the tunnel, where the men are setting up the dynamite.
Impudent scallywag. I told him to finish his shunting earlier. I'll go knock some sense into that sot.
Duke never did like Paxton, did he?
Duke never liked Bertram either. He doesn't like outsiders. He sees them as unruly. Duke is the kind to exert authority. That's why he gets like this when Rheneas and Skarloey aren't around. Of course, he deserves respect. Saved my bunker a few times.
Good work, Thumper. With a small crevice, we can place the dynamite and blast through this rock.
No problem. Glad to be of service, mate.
Paxton, get out of here! Scram! You know the men are blasting soon.
Hey, I'm sorry, Duke. I was just, shunting, like I always do. It's my job, here,
No excuses! Get out of my sight!
Yes, sorry, Duke.
Hey, cool it, old geezer. He means well. I can't imagine what it does to that little fella's system when you shout at him like that.
I only want to make sure everyone at Blue Mountain is safe. I don't need an incompetent sot telling me different. The last thing we need around here is mishap knocking on our doors.
Yeehaw! This must be the place, Weaver.
Hey, is the Thin Controller around?
Yeah, we wanted to talk to him. Hasn't spoken to us since the munitions incident. We wanted to hear about his fencing lessons.
Fencing lessons?
Rick! Weaver! I know he's about. But you two best not be here, especially with firearms.
Yeah. Why exactly are you two carrying firearms onto the premises?
You can never be too careful.
Never leave home without them. We're friends of the Thin Controller. Been on all sorts of adventures since we were in university together.
Well, that really is heartwarming. But that still doesn't justify carrying weapons. We have explosives around, and I really wouldn't fancy any sort of unwanted disturbance.
Who exactly are these drifters? They from around here?
I know they're close friends of the Thin Controller, and I believe they're rangers of some sort, patrolling the countryside and traveling a lot, exploring new territory.
Well, they're a couple of characters, but the good kind. Ha! Better get back to my work.
I thought I heard Paxton leave, but there's still no sign of Duke.
Senile old bucket. I better go fetch him now.
Be careful, Sir Handel.
Gentlemen, please, stand aside.
Not until we see the Thin Controller.
Yeah, at least let us say hello. You'll understand. We go way back.
I completely understand, but two heavily armed rogues moseying into my blasting site has a remarkable tendency of making me uncomfortable.
Oh, toughen up, you turkey.
Everyone, please. We really ought to get moving.
Grandpuff, get out of there! You're already giving us so much grief for idling about.
Idling? Be off with you. I was just in the middle of setting these roustabouts straight.
Roustabouts? I always thought I had good intentions.
It is one of my best intentions for you to dispense of those firearms.
Oh, and why should I, you turkey? Can't trust an honest man with his trusty revolver. Believe me, I've never had a misfire in my whole life.
Whoa! Fire is hot!
Look what you've done, you idiot! Duke, are you alright?
I'm fine, but Sir Handel is buried.
Well, dang it. That was my fault.
About time you had that revelation.
Ow. Why does this always happen to me?
Oh, it's the Thin Controller. How are you, man?
Help the crew. They need to get out of here as well. Hang tight, Sir Handel.
I guess I'll be fine, sir. And my driver and firemen seem to have all their limbs. I'm sure we'll be able to stick it out in here for
I highly doubt that, and it pains me to see that you're actually reasonable during the most unreasonable of calamities. Help will come, Sir Handel.
Vagard's not gonna like this.
Sir Handel, my friend. Duke told me everything. The workmen will be sure to patch you up as soon as possible. Thank you, Madge, for bringing him over.
No problem, Victor. I know our little blue friend here is in good buffers. A pleasure, as always.
Lift him on the maintenance track. The poor engine can't move on its own. A new set of wheels may be necessary.
Ow. My boiler is killing me. I think I have a rocket-like piston. It's been driving me insane the whole ride over.
We'll have that looked at, my friend, and I believe a new coat of paint is in order. Once we get those dents sorted out. It'll all get better soon, I assure you. Arthur is here too. You've all dealt with some serious rough and tumble.
Glad to see you're safe.
Oh, my aching boiler. I still hear the blast echoing in my funnel.
I'm amazed it's still there.
I was afraid I'd need a drain pipe or something like Peter Sam. I knew if I ever had a special funnel after this fiasco, I'd never hear the end of it.
At least we'll be in good company while we're mended. Ah, hello there, Arthur.
Hey, Duke. Nice to see you again. But not here. Are you alright?
We will be. There was an incident with some dynamite. Absolutely irresponsible and idiotic. Sir Handel, unfortunately, got the brunt of the blow.
Oh dear, I know how that feels. I was caught in the munitions incident at the outpost site. A flatbed of fuel exploded, it almost took me with it. My front end practically melted, so now I'm waiting for a fresh set of buffers.
Glad to see you're in one piece, then. Let's keep our hopes up, shall we? We may all be a bit battered, but at least we have a good share of tales to tell.
In the meantime, let's get some shut-eye.
No, this is not a hospital. We don't have visiting hours. The workmen here at Crowman's Gate also do not welcome firearms at the engine works.
Ah, come on, Vic. We want to apologize to Duke and Sir Handel.
Yeah, please let us go see them.
Duke is doing his paces right now, and if all goes well, he can go home by the end of the week.
Looking good, Duke. Maybe you'll get to go home soon.
I certainly hope so. The explosion has left me only slightly singed. I think I'll still be in good working order.
Send a postcard. Something to take my mind off things while I rot here.
You must be feeling better. You're gradually becoming more unpleasant.
Ah, stow it, Grandpuff.
Keep up those paces, Duke. Victor, might you have a look as well?
Yes, sir. Right away. Don't do anything daft while I'm gone. Now go away. Scram.
Well, I expected warmer hospitality.
Maybe we should have dressed less casually.
Are you kidding? This is my best hat.
That's your only hat?
All right, Duke. Looks like I get final approval on those paces. Try moving to the far end of the shed.
Of course. Here we go.
I am genuinely offended by the severe lack of hospitality we received.
Well, who's this?
Hello there, everyone.
Back away, Stretch.
Help! Don't shoot! I was just dropping off a visitor.
A visitor? How did you know this visitor was for us?
Well, it appears that it was the dramatic display of gun handling and utter stupidity that gave it away.
It's Vegard.
There you are. We were looking everywhere for you.
So I gathered, and apparently you did a cracking good job at it too, blowing up a mine shaft. I assume that it is why our friends Sir Handel and Duke are in disarray.
I was taken by surprise.
I was just standing there thinking about kittens.
Well, look here, gents. The Thin Controller is our mate, and if we want to maintain that friendship, we can't go gallivanting off on an exhilarating spree, making a mess of things everywhere we go. So in a sense, the university days are over.
Sorry about that, Vegard.
Yeah. Why the heck were you thinking about kittens?
Well, thinking about kittens is better than a calamitous misfire.
A misfire with style, mind you.
Oh, bollocks. Enough bickering, please. You know I never miss a shot, and that's because I don't wield a firearm like some sort of clumsy madman. All you do is aim, shoot, and... Oh, what the...
Ay, no. ¿Pero qué está pasando aquí? Ustedes son estúpidos. ¿Por qué tú hicieron eso?
Help! I can't stop! Oh, bust my buffer beam.
The wall didn't come out of that too swimmingly either.
Oh, just stow it, Sir Handel.
Never miss, huh?
Well, it just took me by surprise. Rusty, why on earth are you blasting that wretched horn of yours?
I was just delivering some machine parts to the works, and I wanted to show you all my new two-tone horn.
I thought it was nice.
What is the meaning of this? I tell you all to stay away from the works with those weapons, and there you go, firing away and frightening everyone. You've also ruined a perfectly good wall, and Duke's buffer beam is probably badly damaged.
Oh dear, Duke. Is he alright?
My apologies. I was just informing my colleagues of their roguish behaviour when my rifle accidentally, well, went off and...
I could care less about your explanation. The works must be a safe haven for engines in need of repair. I cannot allow this to get any more out of control. I'm sure you can explain your actions to the police.
The police? You mean the police are involved? Aw, nuts. Back in the slammer.
They're on their way. They may be a bit curious of the fiasco you have caused at the Blue Mountain Quarry.
For the record, I was just standing there thinking about kittens.
Oh, shut up, Weaver.
Duke, are you okay?
A bit worse for wear, I must admit. Why are you here, Paxton?
Vegard wanted to look for some of his friends, and they were looking for the Thin Controller for some reason. Apparently they've been on all sorts of adventures, and created a lot more for us too.
Well, you might say I've had enough excitement for one day.
Don't worry, Duke. I'll stay here with Victor, and make sure you're back on the rails.
Ha! Well, what do you know? You're alright, Paxton. Thank you very much. Perhaps you're not a good-for-nothing sot after all.
Oh, wow, thank you, I guess.
Well, here we are behind bars, and I thought I was the sensible one.
Do you think the Thin Controller will bail us out?
I would count on it. I saved his life after all, and that sort of thing is not easily forgotten.
My honorable friends, perhaps we could all learn a lot from the mishaps you both caused today.
Oh, shut up,
Oh,
Weaver.
sod off.
Another explosion at the Blue Mountain Quarry? And a wall smashed through at Croven's Gate Works? What on earth is going on with the Skarloey Railway these days? What's that? The ruffians have been put under arrest? Very well. I've had quite enough of this. Good day. take me back to simpler days where the biggest concerns were burst safety valves, Welsh coal, and a passenger's bootlaces.
Well, when I look at things, looks like I'll be out of here before you.
Ugh. Looks like it.
Well, I can ask the Fat Controller if I can visit, Duke, and tell you what's going on at the quarry.
Why, thank you, Paxton. That would be nice. Perhaps I may still be able to keep you an order from here. Ha! Impudent scallywag.
Ha ha! All is right in the world. Good night, Arthur, my friend. We'll have that fresh set of buffers ready tomorrow.
And the draft coming through the shed wall?
Next week, at the latest. Hasta la vista.
What an awful blunderbuss this turned out to be.
What's that, Duke?
A blunderbuss is a short-range firearm, but it can also be a mistake or an accident.
Which beautifully categorizes this day's event.
Quite right, Sir Handel. A blunderbuss indeed. I'll give a hearty whistle to that. Well, if I were in steam, anyway.
I believe a honking horn will do. Good night, everyone.
Farewell.
Shut up, I'm trying to sleep.
Maybe we all make mistakes, but at least at the end of the day, they help us realize who your friends really are.
Rick, Weaver, and Vagard? Yes, apparently a smartly dressed gentleman has inquired about your bail.
Henry was cross.
It just isn't right. Why should Thomas get to pull the Sodor Day special, while I have to be away on the mainland?
Well, Henry, a trip to the mainland is a job better suited for us.
I suppose, but Thomas gets almost every special every year.
I think someone's a little jealous.
I'm not jealous. Well, maybe a little. But he's so entitled. And he never appreciates all he has going for him. With Thomas, nothing's ever going to change.
I'm sorry. Who are we talking about?
Okay, so not everyone knows who Thomas is. Thomas is a tank engine with 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. It's no secret that I haven't talked about Thomas much, though some see him as the center of his own universe.
Hello, Thomas?
Hi, Rosie.
There's a sort of magnetism about him that no one can explain.
Are you all okay?
And while Thomas has many good qualities, he can be overeager, a bit stubborn, and often doesn't do as he's told.
Very true.
Very true indeed.
Yet, somehow, Thomas not doing what he's told to do brands him both a nuisance and a hero.
If he didn't tell me about my special job, I never would have found King Godred's crown.
If he didn't help the steam engines and diesels work together, I'd have nowhere to land.
If he hadn't told Victor my story, I would have hid away forever.
Great Waterton would be the town time forgot.
I would be lost and never found.
It's true.
There'd be no shining time for anyone without Thomas.
Suffice to say, Thomas's greatest flaw often lends itself to many a good thing. He's a really useful engine, you know? But there was one particular day where Thomas's greatest flaw was put to the test, and that was the day his destiny was foretold.
Why, good morning, my dear friend! Lovely weather, wouldn't you say?
What? Reneus, what's all this? We're not double-heading today.
Yes, we are. Don't you remember? You told me yesterday your pistons were worn out and you needed help with your first train.
I never said... But I... Reneus, for goodness sake, what's gotten into you?
Scarloey! We said we'd tell the Thing Controller about Proteus and the stolen maps as soon as possible. It's been weeks and we still haven't said a word.
Oh, yes. But I never said we talked to the Thing Controller. I said we talked to Millie.
Ugh, very well. But how can we ask Millie about the maps without asking his permission to travel to Ulfstead Castle first?
Well...
That's your problem. You think too much. I'd say it's wiser to sort this sooner rather than later. If we had it your way, I bet it would take years to unravel all these conspiracies.
Very funny.
Look! It's Mrs. Sam! She'll know where we can find him!
Reneus, wait! We have to be tactful. Let me...
Excuse me, ma'am.
One at a time.
I'll go.
Oh,
after you.
Stop it!
No, you stop it!
Well, this isn't working. Scarloey?
Mom, we need to...
We need to speak to the Thing Controller as soon as possible. Do you know where he is?
He's in physical therapy.
Physical therapy?
Yes, he's got to get that ruddy cast off sometime. It's been far too long.
Oh!
Phew.
Well then, whatever you have to say must be urgent. I'll make sure he speaks to both of you when he's back, but I'll have you know that he's ours today. So if this has anything to do with swashbuckling adventures or sinister forces, please keep our family out of it.
Meanwhile, Thomas's latest special was carrying on as usual, establishing a sense of normalcy before something completely outlandish happened.
Just look at all these party supplies for the carnival! Oh, I've never had a special like this before.
I'd say you have, Thomas.
Well then, I guess my latest special will be return to form.
And we're back.
Good to hear. Any plans?
None at the moment.
No adventuring, I assume?
I don't plan on it. Though, admittedly, I suppose that's not how it works. Now then, where's my ride?
Oh, you mean this?
Madge.
I know. I'll miss carrying you around, but I'm sure you miss the exercise more.
Thank you very much.
He's leaving now.
What was all that about?
That, my friend, was a marital problem.
A marital problem?
You know, a problem. In a marriage?
Marriage?
Marriage is a union between two partners.
Like Mighty Mac?
Rheneas, I know you know what marriage is.
Aren't they married?
They might as well be.
I'm just pulling your wheels! But this is absurd! Has our search for answers seriously been thwarted by the indignation of the missus?
Marriage is a dual gauge track, Rheneas.
What are you two talking about?
Ow!
Can we tell him?
No.
Why not?
Why not? Thomas can't keep a secret to save a life.
You sure about that?
Where are you going, Thomas?
Always changing the subject.
Shh.
I'm taking the special load to the carnival.
Well, now that's a very special job. You'd best be on your way then.
Yes! And let us know if
you unravel any conspiracies or encounter anything supernatural.
I think we have to go, Rheneas.
Bye, Thomas!
They've both been acting very strangely.
On his way to the Great Waterton Fairgrounds, Thomas would cross paths with the thin controller on his bicycle, though they wouldn't be alone. There was something sinister and something supernatural hiding in the hills.
Hello, Thin Controller.
Hello, Thomas.
Oh! Cinders and ashes. What was that?
It's those silly pigeon hunters, I suspect.
Ugh, they never read the signs.
Oh my. Do you think it's safe to carry on?
Who knows?
Probably.
Well, that makes me feel better.
We'll go slowly, Thomas, and make a lot of noise. That should keep those silly hunters away.
We can't go too slowly, and I'll be late for my special.
There you are!
Here I am, yes.
You should have taken Madge. We waited too long for you, and now we're going to be late.
Late? Late for what?
The carnival, darling. It's Sodor Day. You promised you'd go with us.
Oh, yes, of course.
You wouldn't want to miss my show, would you?
Well, there's no use fussing the day away when there's work to be done. When we see the Thin Controller next, that's when we'll ask him about talking to Millie.
Right.
I know you're unsure about this, but please promise you'll tell him the next time you see him.
I promise.
Oh, thank you, my old friend. See you tonight.
That's what the ghost was trying to tell me all along. To stay out of it.
Sodor Day is usually in March, but if you would ask the Fat Controller, the holiday can also be declared to honor a current event. This Sodor Day, however, was more likely slated to draw attention from the shameful plug-turned-lumberjack riot from weeks prior. While the family was having a lovely time, the Thin Controller couldn't help but feel anxious. It always seemed like someone was watching him.
Isn't it nice to be out of the thick of it for once? Spending some quality time?
Yes, indeed. Oh, no, you don't. My apologies. I thought you were making an attempt on my life.
I'll have you know I'm not even cleaning. I'm just spreading the grit around.
What on earth was all that about?
Look out! Sorry, I thought that was gunfire.
Gunfire? Oh, please. Only a fool would think you could be shot out here.
Oh, why do we have to go so slow?
Because I don't want to get shot at, Thomas.
We're not going to get shot at.
Tell that to Mighty Mac.
They were being silly. This is silly.
Thomas, we're puffing through a forest making slow, pronounced movements to give others the impression that we are not, in fact, game birds. Silly is the only way to cope with the modern world spiraling into madness.
Now that's just about all the silly I can take. It's not worth being late worrying about pigeon hunters.
Are you sure?
Come on, we're in the middle of the Waterton Wood. There's no danger here.
I'm sorry for being so anxious, my dear. Trouble always seems to find me.
And you're just waiting to be found, I suppose.
Do we have to talk about this now? Goodness me!
What on earth was that?
I don't know. I must have slipped.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Though regrettably, I seem to have spilled bubble liquid all over the tracks leading to that tent.
Oh no! I can't stop!
Thomas! Oh no! We have to help.
Do you really want to get involved? Or is this just the opportunity you've been waiting for?
I don't think he's very good at this.
What is this place? Oh! Ow!
I've been expecting you.
You have?
Oh yes. Though I didn't think you'd need help finding the door.
Oh, sorry about that. Can I ask who you are?
I'm a fortune teller. I can tell your future, and so much more.
My future?
Oh yes.
But how can you do that?
All I need is a deck, and I can show you. Now, pick 3 cards. Oh. Well, tell me which cards call out to you, and I'll pick them for you.
No, yes! No, that one. Good. And the other one, there. There. That's it, that's good. And that one. Perfect.
Now that you have chosen 3 cards, I will flip each one and tell you what it means.
Right.
You're a leader, aren't you?
A leader? Me?
I'd say you are. You do have your own branch line, don't you?
How did you know that? Oh.
Now, the next card. Oh. You're going to see the world.
The world?
Quite a lot of it. Here, there, everywhere, and beyond.
Me? All across the world?
Across the universe. Oh dear. You'll be lost for quite some time, even without knowing it. Now, onto the third card.
Is that a butterfly?
Yes.
And what does that mean?
Change. Big changes. Yes. Very big changes. Nothing will ever be the same.
You know, we had a lovely day as a family.
Indeed.
And yet, danger simply won't excuse itself from our lives. Why, just this morning, Skarloey and Rheneas had a message for you. Fretting, as always.
They did?
Today was supposed to be special. Less talk about you and me, and more talk about us. This song goes out to my husband, who took some time away from his adventures to be a part of ours.
Never thought I'd be here again, clouded by the shadows of my mind, waiting for both sides to be aligned. In the enterprise of hope.
So you couldn't tie a loose end because of some confetti and some bubble barrels? And I always thought the worst things came in threes.
You know, I'd say, 3 strikes and he's out.
3 components with 9 stages. Here's a little refresher. A part in my revenge, no matter how small, is a privilege. Because what I'm going to do to the Fat Controller's railway is more than a perfect ending. It's more than a grand design. It's my creation.
If I had taken that special, I wouldn't have crashed into a fortune teller's tent.
Well, of course, Henry. You wouldn't need the gift of prophecy to tell us that.
It just wouldn't be Thomas's special without something going wrong.
Did the fortune teller actually tell you your fortune, Thomas?
She did, Percy. She told me a lot of things. But one of the things she said was that there are going to be big changes.
Wow. What kind of changes?
She said I was going places. Places beyond Sodor.
Beyond Sodor?
Yes, and even across the universe.
This is all very strange, Thomas. Do you believe the things she said?
A little, but I feel silly for doing so. What do you think of all of this, Edward?
Sometimes, our own convictions can make things come true, Thomas, good or bad. You shouldn't take these theories so seriously. But even so, you don't need to worry. Change is perfectly natural.
It's not black and white, it's light. Expose your thoughts to the spectrum of light. Let our colors intertwine. Show your lights to me. Show your flights to me.
Scarloey, Roxanne told me you and Rheneas needed to tell me something yesterday. Was it urgent?
No, I don't think so.
What was it then?
Goodness, it may have slipped my mind.
It was probably about the pigeon hunters.
They're back. With a vengeance!
Yes, that was it. The pigeon hunters have returned, sir. We'll need more of those signs.
Nonsense, Swear. I'm going to clear my head for a while.
For the rest of the day, Thomas ran his branch line, and the thin controller took a walk. They both had a lot to think about. Thomas's future felt uncertain, and the thin controller was struggling to leave his past behind. Eventually, these meditations and musings brought our number one heroes to a similar conclusion.
I have to go back.
Oh, no. This is my job, Thomas.
No time, Henry! I have to talk to the... What? Oh, not again! Oh,
I knew you'd be back.
no! Oh, you have to tell me what it means.
What means?
How am I a leader? How am I going to see the world? And all these changes, what are they?
I can't tell you that, Thomas. You'll have to see them for yourself.
Oh.
But I can tell you one more thing. Your destiny is intertwined with another.
Hello, Thomas.
Hello, Thin Controller. What are you doing here?
Just being out and about. It's good to be back in action, as they say. And yet, it just doesn't feel the same.
What do you mean?
I suppose it means, even without that Radicast, I still haven't found my footing yet.
Today, I feel like I don't have any feet at all.
You'd be right to think so.
No. What I mean is, I don't understand where I'm going to go, or who I'm going to be.
You go lots of places, Thomas, because you're an engine.
I thought it was that simple, but it might not be. Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Do you remember when you saved that general and those soldiers from that fire?
Yes, I do.
Did you do that because someone told you you would?
Not really. No one told me to do those things, Thomas. They just sort of happened.
Do you think we have a say in anything we do? Is everything that's going to happen going to happen?
I don't know, but I suppose we'll find out someday.
Need me to take you home?
That would be nice, Thomas.
It was the first time in a long time that Thomas took the thin controller home. And it wouldn't be the last.
Hey, I know how we can solve the mystery of the stolen maps without getting the thin controller involved.
I'm listening.
Luke's slate run to Ulster Castle.
Yes, of course.
All we have to do is swap jobs with Luke so we can talk to Millie about it.
Or find a way for her to work at the quarry again.
Less likely. Now, what about the ghost?
I'm not sure about the ghost, Rheneas. Part of me doesn't want to interfere with whatever its plans may be.
Caught on the border of sin. Never thought I'd be here again. Clouded by the shadows of my mind. Waiting for both sides to be aligned. In the enterprise of hopes and dreams, it's hard to find your way. Lay your body next to me. I swear we'll be okay. In the darkness you will shine and find your peace someday. Show your lights to me. Show your flaws to me.
Scarlet fire. Alright, that is good. Enterprising engines. Wrapped. That's exciting. Woo!
But even so, there's no point worrying. Change is natural. Like puberty. Nobody really wants it, but look at what you get at the end. Yeah. Think on it. This is Thomas in puberty, with pimply bits.
Hope that's good. Not really sure what you're looking for, but I think that's the role I was playing. Just kind of like a peppy, cheery dude. Anyway, yeah, cool.
Even without knowing it.
Figures. Well, we can pause it here if you need to take the call.
No, I don't need to take it.
Alright, well, let's wait for it to go.
Yeah, make it stop.
Alright, birch beer break. Bottoms up.
And it's probably a sales call.
Well, probably.
Nobody calls me on that phone. Nobody.
You know, now that you mention it,
No.
this makes sense out of the whole two hearts burned together thing.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Let's just face it, Mighty. We're married.
No.
Come on, seriously, think about it. A marriage is a union between two partners, right?
Right.
And aren't we two partners forever conjoined for a common purpose in life?
If we're married, then I want a divorce.
Well, if we're getting a divorce, then who's getting custody of Ivo Cube?
Why do we have to fight?
Quiet, Ivo. This double fairly is trying to single parent.
No, you know what? You're just being selfish. Honestly, you're not thinking about me. You're not thinking about what I want
Shut up.
in this relationship. You're just taking. All you're doing is taking from me. You know, I've given you...
What are they arguing about now? And is it your fault?
Don't look at me. I'm not a marriage counsellor.
But that ugly little swoop of facial hair on your face, or
it's not
maybe
ugly.
Maybe that's like a strange birth defect, like you so claim it is. Whatever. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Point is, it's ugly. Like, how can you even look at yourself with that? Wait, I mean,
when have you seen my face?
We're engines, but that's not the point. The point is, it's ugly, but I support you through it. I always support you. All I give you is support. And what do? You just take from me, and you just put me down and treat me like an idiot. Well, no more. You know what? Fine. No, I'm glad we're getting a divorce. I'm honestly glad. I don't even care.
Would someone be so kind as to saw us in half?
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Oh geez, this is not my yard. What the heck? Oh, look at this. Oh, there's a layout here. That's cool. These are not my belongings, nor my track. There's not ridiculous Brio straights and things like that. I guess I could give a little tour of it. That's pretty cool. Man, oh wow, this is really relaxing. Well, here we have Helen the Hippo. She's in her car vehicle, and oh no, it's off-roading, and she's like Flynn. That's great. It seems like a much more sensible layout. We have the muffled mountain. We have the Sodor powder station. It's not level. It's probably going to be foreclosed very soon. And here we have 2 fire stations back to back. As we know, the island of Sodor is a dangerous and a island fraught with mishap and peril, so you need to be prepared. You need 2 fire stations back to back. Like, repeat, back to back. That's what you need. And here we have 2 roundhouses side by side, so if you're a man on the go and you need to store 10 trains, then you got 2 roundhouses back to back. And oh great, we have Boulder Quarry right next to where the sheds are, so if Boulder ever comes loose, then you might as well pray, because sheds are probably going to explode, and that's great. Here is a hydration tower. If you're feeling the heat and you need to cool off in the hot summer sunshine, then look no further. This little nozzle here is going to really quench that thirst. So let's check it out now, funky soul brother. And then over here is a arched viaduct, and the more of these you have, the cooler your curved, elevated tracks look. It just really has that appeal. And then here, I'm going to fall on my butt over here, we have a half of the suspension bridge. I actually never had this item growing up or ever. I think this is the first time I've actually held it. So it's a pretty neat thing going on over here. And if we go on this way, we have a Christmas in July little diesel foundry of some sort. It seems to either be crusted with powdered sugar or covered in snow, but as you can see, this layout really, it's kind of a summer vibe. I'm not really getting the winter vibe anywhere else. I'm getting a bit of a Chinese New Year vibe on this bridge, but the interesting thing about this bridge is my bridges tend to be the I didn't think this through bridge or the friends with benefits bridge, but here this is a bridge that was thought through and people saw it through to the end, and frankly I support them for that. One thing that's new about this layout is the like is a friend station. It's very platonic. This is for a nice high five or a pat on the back, but you're going no further than a quick hug. So if you like someone as a friend, that's your station. Here is the Sidewinder. If you want to go side to side and twist your tail like you just can't fail, look no further than this Sidewinder. I actually don't... How does this... Oh, okay, I see there's a little bit of a turn crank here. Let's see, they should call this one cranky, you know what I mean? It's got a little crank on the side. So over here we have Peter Andre, and he's gonna try this out for a bit, and then he's gonna switch over. Oh gosh, looks like he's stuck in rush hour traffic. We got 2 red lights there. That's a bummer. And then right here there is I guess this is a place to go fishing. That's pretty rock on, man. You know, that's pretty good. I approve of your lifestyle. Oh, and the docks are over here. There's so many signals on this track. Like, man, this is not where you want to be. I guess to close things off, we have Diesel 10 about to destroy the magic buffers and the magic foundation that makes up the island of Sodor. And over there we have the secret to all of humanity's deepest, darkest secrets. I don't really know what it means, but hey, comment below what you think this strange disc. I don't know if this is part of the layout. Maybe I'm reading too far into this, but it's honestly a work of art. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. I'm gonna go home and think about this, but yeah, it's beautiful. It's probably really relaxing, and yeah, just picture a land where the skies are so blue and overcast.